Hello everyone, welcome to Illuminating Astrology. In today's video, I want to share with you practically and spiritually the process and the results of looking at the month of December for the favorable and difficult days. As usual, for the brevity, I'll focus in the video on the most dramatic days, whether they're difficult or positive. I have to say right away, there are many positive days in December for important activities, but in the info box, I will list all of the days, mediocre, good, and positive, for you to use. If you're new to Electional Astrology and you don't know what it is, it's a specific branch of astrology that focuses on choosing the most planetary favorable days for important activities and avoiding the difficult ones. Should you use elections in your life? Certainly. Of course, we can go about our life, mundane activities, without consulting with the elections. Elections are more for something that's meaningful and you want in your favor. For example, a job interview, surgery certainly is helpful to do elections, or even buying and selling stocks. So electional astrology can be very practical in terms of aligning ourselves with the positive flow in the universe and avoiding the difficult. But also, as we go through this discussion, I'll talk a little bit about spiritual and astrological meaning of certain configurations. So I will start with today, simply because there are two important astrological events that are taking place and that will mark the beginning of December. And that is Mercury is going stationary to go direct. Mercury is going to go stationary on November 29th. Stationary means it slows down, kind of stops visually, and then goes direct. And Mercury specifically goes direct on December 1st. So we had 3 weeks of delays, miscommunication, missing items, technological hiccups. Now Mercury is going direct, so there will be more flow, more direct movement. But another important event is Saturn also going stationary on November 27th today and November 28th tomorrow to turn direct on November 29th. So we're starting December 1st with the Saturn direct. And Saturn was retrograding for many months in the sign of Pisces. So now, as it stays in the sign of Pisces, it's as we had to review, come back to some kind of emotional wounding or the lack of boundaries that we may have had. And now we can move forward. We still need to maintain boundaries. We need to maintain clarity, which might be still a little bit difficult, but at the very least it can move forward. And in the more mundane sense, Saturn represents older people, governments, structures of power. So whatever delays, whatever hiccups, whatever scandals and conflicts we experience, things can now move forward and resolve. Saturn will stay in Pisces for another few weeks before it moves to Aries, which marks an important change. But for the month of December, Saturn will be in Pisces. And one last thing, this Jupiter is retrograding, but it will retrograde for the entire month of December, so that stays without the change. Jupiter represents financial wealth, but also a search for meaning, search for truth and justice. So as we continue to search for truth and justice, as I many times said in my videos, we also have to be finding the truth and the meaning and compassion within ourselves. Retrograde movements, they suggest turning within. So in any way, Jupiter, though is retrograding, is still very beneficial right now because it's in a sign of its dignity. Let's take a look at each day and see which days are good or difficult. The beginning of the month, December, starts with a positive tone. In addition to those planets going direct, Mercury and Saturn, the month starts with the moon in a fire sign in Aries and the sun in a fire sign in Sagittarius. Having the moon and the sun in fire sign is really positive, and it's a different theme than we had in November and October. It's a theme of festivities, of action, of seeking new experiences, of starting something new. It is a favorable time in December to start new experiences, new learning, expanding our horizons, kind of going out of the box. And on a more mundane level, the moon-sun trine is always favorable for interviews, for job searches, for surgeries, for anything that you want in balance and favor. Because the moon and the sun in a good relationship with each other, they harmonize. And for the whole sublunar world, for the whole world, this is a harmonious energy. So December 1st is a very good day, and the start of the month is positive. December 2nd, the moon is moving to Taurus. That's a positive, strong position, focused on financial stability, financial rewards, enjoyment of physical things, food, clothing, items that gives us physical comforts. But it's also a decent day for investment. December 3rd, the moon is moving to Jupiter. It is in opposition with Mercury, so some challenges might be there in communication, but it's very nice that the moon is in sextile with Jupiter and it is with reception. So positive, favorable day for financial matters or decisions with proper research. December 4th is the day of the full moon, and I'll talk about the full moons in a separate video, but the full moon in Sagittarius and Gemini is a time when information becomes revealed or people are seeking more information. And the full moon is always a time of imbalance where the public and the government are at odds with each other, or some kind of scandals or revelation come out in the public sphere. But it's not a favorable time from a mundane point of view. So avoid doing surgeries, purchases, job interviews on the full moon. In addition, after the full moon, the moon is going to square Saturn, Neptune, which suggests, again, difficult times obtaining information, difficult times getting favors. It's also not favorable for any medical procedure. December 6th and December 7th, the moon is in Cancer, really favorable days. Jupiter is retrograde, so it's a little bit less favorable. With an emphasis on water, it's a time to emotionally connect with other people. It's time for family, for compassion, for empathy. If you had a falling out with someone in the family, for example, that's a good time to make amends, because there's more movement towards unity, connection with other people. And generally we'll have a grand trine on water on that day, which suggests more flow. We continue to experience a lot of movement of planets in the water element. So emotional connection, unity, some kind of intuitive development, all of this is really favored. And December 6th and 7th are very favorable. Pay attention to your dreams, work with the dream and spiritual world if you're interested in it. But from a mundane point of view, it's also a very favorable day for purchases, trades, medical stuff. December 8th and December 9th, the moon is in Leo, and again it trines 3 planets in Sagittarius, which is a really nice time. Again, the fiery energy is common in the month of December. Capitalize on this time to accomplish professional things, because the moon sun is especially favorable for professional job interviews, promotions, but it also could be good for publicity, for theatrical performances. The moon in Leo suggests being true to oneself, so it's favorable for performers, talkers, and so on. But so anyway, it's overall a good day for business activities, for creative activities, and for publicity. December 10th and 11th, the moon is in Virgo, and especially December 10th is okay, but December 11th she is starting to oppose Saturn and Neptune, which is also going stationary to turn direct. This is not a favorable time for surgeries, medical processes. Avoid the days when the moon is in opposition with Saturn. And the moon in opposition with Neptune suggests confusions, missing information, missing true information, uncertainty, and lack of clarity. Again, unfavorable to deal with older people, governments, unfavorable for medical procedures. December 12th, she's going to move to Libra, which is a decent day. She will be in Libra and approaching a sextile with planets in Sagittarius. Favorable day for social activities, socialization, parties, some kind of talks that you want to be smooth. December 14th, she continues to be in Libra. December 14th, she is continuing to be in Libra, at least in the morning. All favorable days for social activities, for public speech, for communication, for clear understanding of other people. December 15th and 16th, a moon will be in Scorpio, and even early December 17th. That's a challenging position for the moon because she's in detriment. So emotionally and for mundane activities, it's a little challenging. However, she will get a trine with Saturn and a trine with Jupiter, so it may favor some of the activities related to emotional matters, family matters, maybe therapeutic work, some kind of healing work. It may be acceptable for some surgical procedures, but if you want a really better day, I would look further. December 18th, the moon is in Sagittarius, which is a good position. But she is approaching Mercury, which is okay, good for communication and trades. And the following day, December 19th, she's approaching the new moon. The new moon of the month will be in Sagittarius. So it is a highlight of activities in a fire element, which suggests less patience and oriented towards fast movement, action, energy. I will talk about the new moon separately, but overall, from the mundane point of view, it's not a favorable day. The new moon is a time of darkness or secrets, and the moon is afflicted on the day, so avoid it for any medical procedure or anything in your favor. The new moon is only good for something you want in secret. December 20th, the moon is with Mars, which is a difficult position, avoid it. December 21st, she's also with Mars. So moon in Capricorn, it's in detriment, but it can be useful in some practical matters, practical decisions. But because she's with Mars, it's a little challenging. In traditional view, you want to avoid it until she has better support of beneficial planets. December 23rd and 24th, days leading to Christmas. Moon is in Aquarius and she is sextiling Mercury. Not much else is going on, but the moon is sextiling Venus, so it's not bad for social activities, again, for travel. December 25th, Christmas, and 26th, the day after Christmas, the moon is moving to Saturn, again highlighting the limitations, the boundaries, the challenges we might have to face. On a mundane level, it is not favorable. Do not trade on these days unless you're selling. It's better for selling when moon is with Saturn. And do not do anything that's important for your body, like medical procedures or cosmetic procedures and so on. December 27th, moon moves to Aries again, but she's squaring planets in Capricorn, so it's a little challenging energy. Could be good for some new activities, but not the most harmonious. December 20th, she's still in Aries. It's the same. She's now squaring Jupiter, which is, mediocre, has some good and some bad. She is trining Mercury, which is good day for communications. And on the 29th, she's at the end of Aries and she's moving to Taurus. By the 30th of December and the 31st, last day of the year, she's going to be in Taurus, trining the planets in Capricorn. Again, a really favorable day for anything you want in harmony and balance. Practical decisions, trades, interviews, though it's a holiday, but so travel is favorable, but basically it's a favorable day for any important activity, especially focused on securities, financial, tangible securities. And that's the end of the month. So let me know in the comments, please, what do you think if you're using elections in your practice, if you're using my elections, share your experience with me. If you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. Your support is very much appreciated. Thank you very much and stay tuned for more.